Welcome to Wrestling with Reality, a look into the world of professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, and much more. And now, I present the host of Wrestling with Reality, the hashtag Scandinavian God, Johnny Podcasting, John Wagland.
All right. All right. We are live here on YouTube. Welcome to Wrestling with Reality. We're going live. We're doing some new stuff here. We're adding in some intros. So if the intro came in good there, awesome. If it didn't, it's the internet's a little slow here tonight on our server here in New York. But hey, that's just life. That's how it goes. It's not the end of the world. So welcome to the YouTube stream. Welcome to the podcast if you're listening to this. And if you want to listen live, we're going to do more things, as we mentioned last week, right on YouTube. So go ahead and check out Wrestling with Reality right on YouTube. You'll be able to join us live when we tape it. And make sure you subscribe and hit those likes. So that way, if we do go live, you're more than welcome to come in the stream and hop right in. And then we can see what's going on with you. So welcome to the show. Welcome to Wrestling with Reality. This is your reality check for the week here. And as always, joining me on is my partner, my cohort, my good buddy. He is the simple man, Jeff Miller. What is up, Mr. Miller?
Not much. Just here, excited to sit down and chat with you. Been a wonderful day here.
It's been a joyous day. You've had an eventful day, haven't you?
Yeah. I'm ready for it to be over.
Yeah. The good news is there's always a new day that's coming, right?
Yeah, hopefully a better one.
It is, man. Business goes up and down. Jeff's a reseller and had a fun reseller day today. So, my Lord, it is what it is here. So, hopefully you guys are all doing good here today. Hopefully everybody's doing well. We're going to have some fun. We got a lot planned for everybody tonight, and it's going to be a good show. We're going to have a good time with it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, let's get right into it, man. You ready to get going?
I'm definitely ready.
All right, so we're going to kick off first this week. We got oh, they're just pop-ups that come up here that on my screen, and they just translate over because it wants to be a pain in the ass because it's late and we're doing a stream, so they all want to pop up at once. Yeah, it's the fun of it. So it is what it is. So if you hear that little ding in the background, folks, that's the reason why. Well, kicking off tonight, we're going to talk about NASCAR, and we're going to talk about the Confederate flag. So a big source of contention this week for people online is they've been debating about this thing that NASCAR did. So NASCAR decided to remove the Confederate flag from all races. So they outlawed it at their races now, and it's gone. It's not going to be allowed to be displayed anymore. And they said, that it stands for something with racism and things that relate to that, so that they're not going to do it anymore. So NASCAR made a stand. Now, one driver who's been adamant about it is the only African-American driver on the NASCAR circuit. The only one. There's one African-American driver in NASCAR, and his name of all things is Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace. So Bubba has been championing against this, and I got nothing but respect for him. So their race this weekend, he actually painted his car, Jeff, all black, and it says Black Lives Matter over it. And I thought that was a really cool thing that he did. And I thought NASCAR did the right thing by hopping in and making this choice to do it here, and making this choice to jump into the year 2020 and to realize they need to take this racist fucking sign of hate back here. And what do you think about this here? Because we didn't really talk much about this. What do you think about NASCAR's decision to remove this? And hello on the stream to anybody in there. Hello to Christopher giving comments in there. And yes, the guy's name is really Bubba. And
like Bubba Gump
Mantar, yeah, he's not Bubba Gump Shrimp. He's just Bubba. He's Bubba Wallace here, man. So welcome to the stream. If anybody's hopping in on our streams, feel free to comment. We'll get to the comments as we go. But what do you think about NASCAR hopping into the year 2020 and getting rid of the Confederate flag?
It's definitely the right move. It's been such a topic of controversy for past few years now, really strongly. And with everything going on, it's just they had to do it based on a majority public opinion, and it just looks terrible on their part to keep allowing that, because for many, it stands for a race symbol of racism. Some it doesn't, a symbol of Southern pride. But the South always acts like they never lost,
Yeah, well, that's not true.
and you can't like be a unified nation if you're always like
Divided.
think divided like that. I mean, we're dividing more again, but for different reasons. Well, kind of.
I find it interesting because the NASCAR has been, always had this up because they live in the southern states basically. I'm not saying they don't go to northern states too, but a lot of their NASCAR circuit goes through the southern states. So it's always been something that's been up there for them because of the southern states and just how much of a presence they have with NASCAR over there. And I'm glad that NASCAR made the decision to really hop up and down with the times. Now, some people might say to me that the Confederate flag is racist. Some people might say that it's a sign of lineage and history. We covered this on one of my other shows today, Does Father Know Best? And I put this argument back. It was a flag that was flown by the South, who was in support of slavery back in the day during the Civil War. And they were, of course, fighting the North. And the North was not for those things. Now, I challenge people on this here, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, Mr. Miller. But their debate on it's about the lineage and the history. What if somebody put a Nazi flag up in their yard too and was hanging it up, or took the signs of Adolf Hitler and all of his Nazi Germany and decided to put it up? And would that be acceptable? Because for their debate that's lineage to some people. I call bullshit on it for me, and I say those are signs of hatred and hateful times. That's my opinion on it. And if you're going to say it's okay to wave a flag that supported slavery in the southern states and their lineage, and you're going to sit there in the year 2020 and go back to finding something from 1860s, it's just disgusting to me, and it's just wrong. So, man, the same holds true for the Nazi flag. If you're going to let people fly that Confederate shit in their yard or whatever it is, or up around everywhere, then why couldn't a Nazi put it up? Because that's part of their history and lineage. To me, it's all racist. Christopher even says in the thing here, he says, the flag is racist, period, end of story. It's a disgusting symbol of oppression, hate, and ignorance. And I couldn't agree anymore. What do you think about my comparison there with the Nazi flag and with the Confederate flag?
It's a really great analogy that definitely makes a lot of sense in comparison to similarity. So I would definitely agree with that. Like, someone flies a Nazi flag in their yard and someone Jewish sees that, it's offensive to them. It reminds them of their family members and ancestors that were oppressed. So I can understand for African Americans seeing a Southern Confederate flag and reminding them of the oppression their ancestors faced.
Yeah, it's really interesting to me too, because they're also talking about removing the monuments from a lot of these states too, monuments that symbolize the Confederacy or things that symbolize that time period, such as they're removing monuments of General Lee. He's one of them, and I know there's several others that certain states are going to be taking out. So there's this point of contention now. What do they do with the monuments? Do they just destroy them and get rid of them? My theory on this, and I want to hear yours right after, Mr. Miller, is put them in a museum, because museums have crazy outlandish things in there too. They have things that have historical symbolic nature to them. Put them in a museum. Let people go back and see those things in a museum, because if we fail to understand history, we're doomed to repeat it. And they can go in there and see those monuments and see that it was a historical time frame and it was from a historical figure, and go see it. I don't see the sense in destroying it. I see a sense in educating people on the history of those things and putting them in a place that would be prevalent and be able to go and actually be viewed in. What do you think about that?
I definitely agree with you on that, because that's why we have the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. I went there once in 8th grade, and it was so bad. I could not handle it.
It's a powerful experience, right?
It was so powerful, and my emotions just couldn't take it. Just seeing all the cruelty done to people, and I basically ran right through the whole thing just to get to the end because I didn't want to be inside, like stay around all of it. Um, so I fully agree with putting them in the museum because, like you said, those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat. And I think Trump said something like that today, but he's a hypocrite when it comes to anything. Um,
He's
but
walking
destroying
into
statues
that.
is just um, destroying statues and completely erasing them from history. That's acting like a fascist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I have such a huge freaking problem with Antifa, because they're all about destroying any statues of fascism or racism or anything they don't agree with, basically. And you're a hypocrite if you're like trying to erase history because history's there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have history in school, to learn and know the patterns so we don't make the same mistakes or make the right choices again that we made in the past. And people just want to be like, destroy it all. And I'm like, you're walking a thin line there.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I saw people desecrating these monuments and stuff, and I'm glad they're getting rid of them if they, for the ones that stand for those things. But desecrating them isn't the right way to do it. Looting isn't the right way to get your point across in a protest. That's not how you do it. Let them figure this out. Put it in a museum. If they choose to destroy it, let them destroy it. Don't be desecrating things, out there. If it's awful and bad, I agree with taking it down. I want to take it down. I want to get rid of it, but we got to act better than what I'm seeing out there right now with people and just how they're acting. It was mentioned in the stream too that the former Carolina Panthers owner had his statue taken down yesterday from the stadium, and it was due to his past racist and sexist behavior. So for those who think that this Black Lives Matter campaign isn't working or that it's just silly, look at the change that's slowly coming with things like this, that they're finally doing it. And it's because of this whole campaign. So whether you think it or not, like, you have to understand that a lot of things are changing slowly, very slowly, because of this thing, because of the Black Lives Matter campaign, because of these protests. Would you agree with that?
Oh, I absolutely agree. And people want to be like, when is this going to be over? I'm tired of hearing about all these protests. And like, well, African Americans are tired of being oppressed so much and the inequality they face from systemic racism and police brutality. It never, um, it never goes away for them, and
No.
so that's why they continue the fight every day.
Yeah,
And
and
they're fighting for their lives, not for a fucking haircut.
you ain't lying about that, man. And that ties me into my next clip that I have tonight. So I have a clip that you sent me here, and it's right on Twitter. We're going to add in videos here over the next few streams that we do. Like I said, the internet connection tonight with our server, maybe due to storms or something that's going on, is just a little bit lagging. So we have them. It's just that they're being a pain in the ass to do tonight. So instead, I'm just going to put it up so people can hear this one. But you sent this to me, and these are people that are talking about the impact the coronavirus has had on their lives. And it's absolutely fucking telling of the country and the world that we live in right now and the people. So why don't you guys take a listen to this that I'm going to put up, and I think you're going to enjoy it. And we'll talk about it after. Maybe we'll do some snickering while it's going on or whatever, but it's pretty classic shit, man. This is too good to just pass up. So why don't you take a listen right now, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it right after.
Y'all are sitting there breathing freely, building your immune systems without masks. How disgusting, how shameful, how criminal, how corrupt. This is a hoax. It's a fraud. There's nobody dying in excess of any other year in the last decade. Are you aware of that? Stop listening to absolute charlatan doctors like this Dr. Chow, who I wouldn't go.
Your time is up. Thank you. Next speaker, please.
What the fuck? She's going still.
You're telling me that I have to breathe in CO2 when God gave this body the ability to extract that from my body, and now you want me to put it back in my body. I have natural rights as a sovereign citizen of the United States.
Your time is up.
You are kneeling
on the necks of the people, and you are continuing to act in a thuggish manner.
What? Really?
Yeah.
That's an analogy.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to tell you.
I missed that part of it.
No, I fucking saw that clearly, and I'm like, I think people missed it. I fucking caught it.
Well, there's more coming here, folks. Don't worry. It's
People
retweeted
are
on
now
our
able
Twitter.
to commit crimes while fully shielding their faces from sight.
I begin with a question. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? I remember teaching my own
Maybe.
fifth graders about the respiratory system. These 10-year-olds understood the most basic important element needed by the human body is oxygen. So I ask you, why in the name of science and health would you require people, especially children, to wear a mask only to rebreathe the waste product the body wants to get rid of?
Making our children wear masks is
teacher.
medical experts, and it's fundamentally wrong. They need to be exposed to bacteria in the air, playing on jungle gyms. Kids need sunlight, exercise, interaction, youth sports, and prayer without masks. If you deny them that, in 20 years, you're going to have a population of immunosuppressed, antisocial adults who can only interact via Zoom and FaceTime and need gloves to shake your hand.
I have been discriminated 5 times in the last 2 days.
5 times.
Actually turned away. I cannot go in these businesses without a mask, even though I have a health condition.
These children need to be back on the field.
This guy's a
Not 2
fucking
weeks
winner here.
Now, as you can
Oh
see,
yeah, he just wants
we're
to.
still
He's
soccer
a total like
we're still not
coach.
playing
He's like,
soccer.
I want my kids back on the field so we can play. Blah blah.
You know,
Fuck
I
you.
mean, are we still talking about this? Like, it's over, you know, this lockdown. I mean, you're looking at numbers and data, and, you know, I go to a resort, nobody's wearing a mask. Then I come here, everybody's wearing a mask. I go to a protest, nobody.
Thank you. Your time is up.
He went and fought where?
This is
Dad?
great.
Where did you fight?
This piece of shit using his grandfather. Oh my
In the
god.
Philippine Islands in World War II.
And his fight was for your freedom,
I mean,
my
father.
freedom, his freedom, and everybody that's here today.
I don't know if you guys are robots or whatnot. So please stop imposing Chinese communism tactics. This is America. We need our essential bread. If you're not human, please join Elon Musk on his trip to Mars. And vote for our breath. Please let us breathe.
What the fuck is wrong with people, man? Oh, I could be a real douche and put them all in the Hall of Shame one by one for that. But
It's the whole fucking meeting. The Karens here,
dude,
and the coach. I don't know what they call male
Oh.
Karens, but
he's a schmuck, man. This guy. Wow. He's more worried about the kids playing soccer, man, and little Jimmy's in his fucking soccer outfit, man. He's ready to roll.
yeah. Bring his kid there in a soccer uniform, just try to get sympathy and make them feel bad. What pieces of shit? It's like those assholes on fucking eBay. They want to be like try to get sympathy, like, oh, give me this sympathy story, and then add another sympathy story on another one. Try to use their kids as a leverage. I'm like, get the fuck away.
For fuck's sake, man. What is wrong with people, dude? Like, it almost
But you
leads.
see what I meant by that one woman? Like the metaphorical racism where she's talking about kneeling on our necks. And I'm like, are you fucking... And then she's thugs she mentioned too.
Yeah,
I'm like, holy fucking racist.
this is a knee in the throat of all of us. Really?
And then the fucking people are clapping.
Where's this
Everyone
Orange
there
County?
was clapping.
Is this Orange County, Florida?
I thought it was California.
It might be, but I know there's an Orange County in Florida. So this is either Florida or California here. So this is one or the other, man. This is Florida or this is California. Couple of fucking gems, man, that these people are. The best one is the fucking guy that parades is like 100-year-old father out there, and he says, "Tell him, Dad, what's that?" His old man don't even.
For your right. I'm like, yeah.
This fucking guy doesn't even know where he's at. He wheeled him out of the nursing home so he can fucking go out there and parade him in front of everybody to try to get his point across. What a fucking dope!
Expose him without a mask.
Oh god, what a
It's
fucking
a
dope!
it's a joke. It's a hoax.
Oh god, I feel like I'm dealing with people that I used to work with here, man. Like that's what when I listen to that, I just feel like I'm fucking in the Twilight Zone. That shit, man. Like with people saying this is a hoax. I like to ask those who said it's a hoax, how it spiked massively across the world, definitely across the United States. I'll just use the United States because this is where we're at. How it's been spiking in fucking record droves right now for it, but it's a hoax, man. Just remember, it's a hoax. 115,000 plus people have died, but it's a hoax, man. Right?
Mm-hmm. And you're discriminating me for wearing a mask because I have health conditions, and I'm like,
I'll give them some motherfucking health conditions, man. I'm telling you, Jesus, people are something else, man. Our country's got to be getting dumber by the day. Listening to jabronis like this right here, man. That was a gem of a clip you sent me, man.
oh, it was. I'm like, bro, that's all I commented to you.
You got to watch it, folks, to really enjoy it. So go over to my Twitter or Jeff's Twitter. It's at simpleman_5 or at WWR podcast. I retweeted this out so you can see it on there. It's from the Now on Live, I believe is the name of it, or Now Live site that's out there, which seems like it's some type of news source site. It's pretty hilarious, man, to see it, just to watch it alone, just to see these fucking dopes that are out there. Because man, there's some dopey, cringy fuckers in this crowd here, man. I gotta say though, I love the lady that says your time is up and just keeps cutting them off. Like
that was the hilarious part. Like
great.
They just want to keep going and going and going. Your time is up, and their mic gets cut.
Yeah, she's a gem, man. She really is. She's cool in my book now, knowing it, because by God, man, I'm telling you that was some pretty classic stuff right here. And we got some pretty classic
people are a fucking microcosm of like so many people out there that are just like this. Like I see so many comments locally of idiots just like this.
Yeah, it's definitely not a new one here, man, because like you said, we've seen this enough over the past couple weeks, because the past few months, because it's been going on for about 3 months now, nearly, with everything. So it just keeps getting better and better and better and better. And what else that keeps getting better and better and better is what we started last week, which is our wall of shame, or a hall of shame, excuse me, our hall of shame, because lots of people enjoyed this segment last week and got a good kick out of it. And we're definitely going to try to do it every week. There's no certain amount of people that can go in a week. And if you have a submission for it, once again, go over to our social media. Let us know, DM us, whatever it might be that you want to do, or email. You can email me if you want to, if you have a submission, wwrpodcast.com@gmail.com. And we would definitely be happy to take a look at your submission and see if they too can get inducted into the Hall of Shame. And we have some great ones this week, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
That's all I'm going to say on that one here. And you got to do it justice and go to our YouTube at Wrestling with Reality. Once again, before it was named Fig Life. It might still show up as that in the search bar. So if you can't find Wrestling with Reality, just type in Fig Life. It is all transferred over from the old name that it was before. But sometimes it might still pop up. So it's either under Fig Life or Wrestling with Reality. And if it is under Fig Life that you have to put that in, then just go in and you'll see the Wrestling with Reality logo on there and the name of Wrestling with Reality for the site on there. It's probably all switched over by now, I'm pretty sure. But if it's not, that's how you find it, because it's out there. It's most definitely out there. So you can go check it out. And we had a lot of fun streaming last week for the first time on here. Got a lot of hits through it, which was awesome. We had about 90 to 100 people that came through on the stream throughout the night in the beginning, which was awesome. So lots of fun, man. And they loved this segment. People loved what we did last week with the Hall of Shame. So let's get right back into this week's Hall of Shame. Does that sound like a good plan to you, buddy?
Sounds great.
We got a lot, so let's be prepared. Let's go take a peek now at the Hall of Shame. It is a doozy. So without further delay, the Hall of Shame.
Let me tell you this, you stupid idiot. You just made the list! You just made the list! You just made the list!
Shame. Shame. Shame.
It always gets me, man, the shame from Game of Thrones. If you've never seen Game of Thrones, you got to go check it out, folks. So, Hall of Shame. So, leading off this week, we could put this guy in every week. It's so easy to put him in. How did he? I don't know how he escaped the first week. I really don't, but he did not get inducted the first week. So, this is actually his first time, and I'm sure it's his first time of many, many times being in the Hall of Shame. So, our first one for the week here, and I'll cover it, is none other than the man himself, the leader of the United States of America, the one, the only, Donald Trump here. Donald Trump has made it into the Hall of Shame this week. Why did he make it in amongst many reasons? Well, there's just a couple of peaches in there that really made it that Donald Trump had to go in. And this, to me, was my icing on the cake for him this week. He decided he would go on social media, and you saw the clip of the guy that got just completely fucking steamrolled by the cops out in Buffalo, right?
Yeah, it was horrible to watch.
Yeah, it was really fucking dreadful here, man. And his name was Martin Gugino, I believe is how you say it. If I apologize, I apologize if I messed Mr. Gugino's name up. It is a little bit of a hard name, but he was slammed back on by the cops. He was had a camera on him, and cops were doing one of their walks where they're power walking and fucking everybody up. And poor Mr. Gugino, 75 years old, who is an activist and is a peaceful guy, and everybody said he is. He's not creating any problems to anybody. He's got his camera out and is just walking or just standing there, and then the cops come out of nowhere and shove this poor old man at full bore. And all you see in the video is the back of his head just start pouring blood out. And people are yelling, he's bleeding from his ears. The guy got fucked up bad. Would you say that's a very fair analogy that he got fucked up really bad?
That's a definitely good, fair analogy.
Yeah, and he's still in the hospital to this day. And this was like over a week and a half ago now at this point. So he's still into the hospital at this moment here, which is just completely, I feel terrible for this guy. And he's suing them, of course. So he's going to be suing the cops here for this, and he's lucky to be alive. So Mr. Trump, in his infinite wisdom, this is what got him into the Hall of Shame this week. And Mr. Trump decided to tweet this out. Buffalo protester shoved by police could be an Antifa provocateur. 75-year-old Martin Gugino was pushed away after appearing to scan police communications in order to black out the equipment. I watched. He fell harder than what he was pushed. Was aiming scanner. Could be a setup, ? You gotta be fucking shitting me, man, with this guy. What the fuck, man? What do you think about this?
It's unfucking believable. 70-fucking-year-old man. Yeah, he's really gonna do some damage, like, on a freaking armored officer.
Jesus Christ.
I saw how hard the cops shoved him. It was like, and then one of them tried to help, but they're like, no, don't help him. And you see him bleeding out the ear, and I'm glad he's okay. But that was so hard to watch.
Oh, but he was scanning the equipment, man. He's an Antifa provocateur. Oh God, this guy
was bad, but he's not like.
Oh,
he was Antifa. There. He'd be fucking wearing black and having a freaking mask over his face.
If you ever
protesting his right.
If people haven't seen the video, the guy's literally like fucking kneeling, basically, and just has his camera there. He's doing nothing. He's not being aggressive. He's not yelling at anybody. He's not trying to attack him. And these motherfucking dopes just tossed him that hard to do it. So to call him a provocateur and he's scanning the equipment to disable it, man. Trump, if you thought this guy if you thought this guy had any marbles a few weeks ago, he sure doesn't have any of them playing up in his head right now, man. This guy's fresh out of common sense now, man. He barely had any before, and then now he just has none. So I guess this guy's an Antifa provocateur, according to Mr. Trump. So, Mr. Trump, you get nominated to the Hall of Shame for that dumbass comment this week. Now, you came up with this one right here and sent this to me, and I just have to say, this is a diamond in the rough right here, and this chick is just something else, man. She's in a whole other breed of fucking stupid right here. If you want a list of bad tattoos for wrestling fans, this beats Cody Rhodes' awful neck tattoo. This is the worst tattoo I think I've ever fucking seen in my life. So this young lady here, and she lives out in Smyrna, Georgia. She decided to get this tattooed on her arm, and it says "White Lives Matter." And she decided to post a picture of it, and somebody found out who she was and put a picture of her with this tattoo hanging out at her job as, I think she's like a cashier at like a convenience store or something.
She's a cashier. She ain't using her phone like that.
Yeah,
I saw her in the store.
Yes. So take this one, man. This was your find here. Why don't you take this one right here?
Someone found this woman in Smyrna, Georgia, just to prove that she was real, and took a photo of her there with the phone in her hand. And it's unbelievable someone would do this, but people never seem to amaze us. But people tore into her on Twitter because the font looks like McDonald's font. And so then you just got all the different memes going around. And I made my own one where I'm at don't forget the Diet Coke.
Yeah. She's a big lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. The McDonald's lettering fits her perfect. I'm just going to say that right now.
Oh, yeah.
It just fits her perfect because she's absolutely positively just a gem, man. This young lady. The best one of her is with it looks like it just got done because she's got the cellophane wrapped around it, and she's that big cigarette hanging out of her mouth, looking like a complete fucking dope. Did they give her name out?
I have not found it. Someone said it came from Facebook, but no one said the name.
Very interesting. Well, this definitely goes down as one of my worst tattoos I've ever seen in my life. And she's an easy pick for the Hall of Shame as well, wouldn't you say?
Oh, seriously, like during a time like this, you want to go and fucking put that on you? Ugh, you're a fucking idiot.
What would provoke somebody to go do that they thought it'd be a good idea? It just baffles my mind why somebody would think that this is a good idea.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, young lady, whatever your name is out there in Smyrna, Georgia, you have been officially nominated into the Hall of Shame. Well, the next one for the week is, because we're going to have 4 this week, I'm nominating this person 2 weeks in a row, man. So the first 2 weeks we're doing it, we already have a repeat Hall of Famer. So this individual is a 2-time Hall of Famer, bro. 2-time Hall of Famer already. So just to refresh you last week, who made it into the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Shame, excuse me. Jackson Riker and Linda Hogan were 2 nominees, and none other than the former First Lady of the WWE, which she's not, it's Miss Elizabeth. But you have the person who's not a criminal, even though they've gotten 6 DUIs. The woman who's completely off her fucking rocker too, and is one of the most scazzy looking chicks in the world, man, and scazzy acting chicks in the world. None other than WWE Hall of Famer Sonny. She is our first repeat Hall of Shame member. Pretty amazing, man, that she got in there here. Linda Hogan has been quiet. Jackson Riker's been quiet. So they don't get a double nomination this week, but Sonny does. Now, do you know why Sonny gets a nomination in there, my friend, again?
Yeah, you showed me her tweet about her racist tweet.
Yeah, so apparently Sonny was pretty upset. She was looking for something at the service desk at the local Lowe's near her place. So she decided to go on Facebook and make a comment at Lowe's about her experience there. So this is right from her post on Facebook. And this is right from Sonny here, and especially the woman that said that she's not going to be posting things on social media anymore and is only going to be communicating through her site on onlyfans.com, where she gets nude and shows the world all of the roast beef and all the delicious things that entails with Sonny here, man. So she broke this pretty fast. I don't think she made it a day before she just kept going on social media again. So she was pissed, man, at Lowe's. She was really upset about something. And she wrote this on Facebook to Lowe's. She said, 2 days in a row on hold with Lowe's customer service for 2 hours. 2 different female black operators, 2 times got no help, got attitudes, and got hung up on. Way to represent your race, and y'all wonder why. What the fuck is wrong with this woman, man? Oh,
I don't know. She's bad as Trump with the Twitter.
dude, Sonny, I'm going to give you a real good piece of advice for you. Collect your money that you get from showing everybody all the damaged goods underneath your clothes. All right. Whoever still wants to see that, I don't know, man. You could throw a hot dog down a hallway with Sonny, I'm sure. It's just bad news right there. Stay off fucking Twitter. Stay off Facebook. Don't make any awful and disgusting comments about people of other races, and then want to claim you're not a racist afterwards and say that here when you use terminology like this. She has to be one of the most disgraceful and despicable people that has been in the wrestling business in the last 15 to 20 years, man. She's in the top 10 worst and most disgraceful people to me. Is she fixable, or is Sonny just damaged goods, man?
Damaged goods beyond repair. That girl's she's gonna end up dead at some point.
Yeah, and I hope she doesn't. I don't wish that on her or anything like that. I hope she doesn't. We want to make that clear, but she's got something.
Definitely not. But like when you're like on that kind of spiral, it's only imminent.
Yeah, it's inevitable with the way that she's acting. I don't know if she's back on the sauce again. I don't know if she's blowing dudes for coke again. I don't know what's going on with her, but there's something out there that she's doing again, man. She's off her fucking rocker again, man. I give it about 3 months before she ends up back in prison again, maybe even less time. So that's going to be a remains to be seen, because we're going to see if that ends up coming up here soon, because she's really going down that road again. It looks like of spiraling completely out of fucking control. Now, the last one, this guy just, he if we could put him in every day of the rest of his life, we probably would. And he decided to go out there as they were doing a peaceful protest and walk by his house for Black Lives Matter. And this gentleman ended up deciding to do something. So I'm going to let you take this one, man, because you found this one first too.
Yeah, I saw the video on Twitter. And this FedEx worker, these Black Lives Matter protests was going by his property, and him and his family or friends were out there voicing their opposition to the Black Lives Matter protest. And at first I didn't notice what he was doing with another friend, because I'm like, he's just yelling and kneeling, and didn't think anything of it. Then I like read the comments, and there's a screenshot of him kneeling on the neck of his buddy, and I'm like, oh hell no. Then I like replayed it again, and I'm like, oh my god. Like, and apparently, like, I don't know if we never talked about this, but there was like a challenge going around.
The George Floyd challenge.
The George Floyd challenge, where people were kneeling on their buddies, making a mockery of the whole thing. And here's another fucking idiot. And best part is he got his ass fired because he's a FedEx worker. Well, former FedEx worker.
Yeah.
This was in New Jersey too.
Yeah. The man he was kneeling on to was his brother.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and their names are James J. DeMarco and Joseph A. DeMarco, and they're from Franklinville, New Jersey. And this is on the news, so I'm not giving out somebody's information without the news already reporting this. His brother, the one that's getting his head kneeled on or his neck, like to mock George Floyd, was a corrections officer. Nice guy that I went out there into prison, monitoring the prison, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is a startling example of defending and supporting the law here, man. Well, his brother there, FedEx boy, he's not going to be delivering any more packages anytime soon because, like you said, FedEx gave this guy the fucking boot, man. They sent him packing. To watch the
Yeah, they
video.
responded quick to it too.
Oh, yeah, he was gone on Tuesday. The video, I think.
People were tagging Twitter or tagging them on social media, like, FedEx, is this how your people represent you and stuff? And
they didn't play, man, and I give them all the credit in the world for not playing, man, because they got rid of this guy fast. They put a statement out on Monday, and it said it was right on Twitter, Instagram, all their social media and stuff, and it said this is from the chairman and CEO of FedEx. It says there's absolutely no place for racism or unequal treatment anywhere, and we must unequivocally speak out and reject it when we see it. And that was from Frederick W. Smith. He's the chairman and CEO. And another gentleman named Raj. It looks like Subramanian. I can't say his last name. I'm sorry. He's the president and COO of FedEx. And they did confirm, as you mentioned, that he has been terminated from his job at FedEx. And the New Jersey Department of Corrections has suspended his brother there following a thorough, and it's going to be, as they said, an expedited investigation on this matter and on the fate of this gentleman right here. So they're not fucking playing around either. So these dopes literally just cost themselves work and probably the ability to get work in the near future. I just can't see it happening for them anytime soon, that they're going to get many job offers. Do you?
no, but they do have that firewood business or whatever, because they had their phone number signed right there. So then people are blasting up that phone number because in the video it shows like, oh, need firewood, call their phone number.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah, and if you want to get a good look at the visual of this here, I screenshotted it, and it's up on the YouTube right now here on Wrestling with Reality YouTube. And you can see a nice photo of this dipshit kneeling on his brother's neck to mock George Floyd. And you can see his wonderful and lucrative firewood business that's in the back there. So I bet you $100 he's disconnected his number by now.
Oh, it's been changed. People already commented that. But I
Fucking
can't imagine all the phone calls fucking blowing up after it.
God, he gets himself a special place in the Hall of Shame forever on this one, man. And like I said, like you said it too, I don't wish any harm on anybody. I don't want that. That's wrong. And you don't wish anybody to not have a job or be able to support themselves. But if there's anybody that deserved to get fired, it was him and his brother for doing this act. And this most definitely nominated them easily for this week's Hall of Shame.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, let's go into our last segment of the week. We're going to look at some wrestling stuff here. And the reason we're going to do a little bit of wrestling here is because we have some interesting ideas on the wrestling world and what's been going on in it today. So there was some news today in wrestling that Paul Heyman, who is the lead writer, the creative guy for the Monday Night Raw show, has been terminated from his job as a creative writer and as the head of Monday Night Raw. And that Bruce Pritchard will be taking over the duties as the head of both now SmackDown and Raw. So let's go back in time here. Less than a year ago, these Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff were brought in to try to fix the just completely tanking ratings that the WWE has, because their ratings are going just in the shitter. And Paul was to take over Monday Night Raw. Eric was to take over SmackDown. Eric didn't even last fucking 83 days, man. I know he has a show 83 weeks to talk about the Monday Nitro stuff. This guy didn't last 83 days, for Christ's sakes. He was gone. And then Pritchard ended up taking over at SmackDown. Heyman made it about 10 months on it. And Monday Night Raw's fucking ratings are in the absolute shitter, of course. So what they did last year was trying to bring two new people in. Didn't last on one fast. This guy, other one, Paul Heyman, didn't last. And they're scrambling right now. And apparently Vince McMahon is just completely livid about everything that's been going on. They're getting defeated by AEW week in and week out. And his magical solution here, because they tried to act like this is natural to do this, which they don't ever do this. But
it was the most random fucking tweet. Like, they never do something so random like that. We're like, oh, Paul's going to be doing back to in-ring performing or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna find the tweet here and read it out to everybody because I can't do it any justice by not reading out exactly what they said here. So I'm gonna find it here really fast on their stuff here. All right, so this is from WWE's Twitter, at WWE on Twitter. They said, in an effort to streamline our creative writing process for television, we have consolidated both teams for Raw and SmackDown into one group, led by Bruce Pritchard. Paul Heyman will concentrate on his role as an in-ring performer. You had a great thing you messaged me about that when people are saying that, we're consolidating it, acting like it's normal. They've never done that, man. Not since Vince Russo left back in the day and SmackDown really went on its own. Since really the beginning of SmackDown, basically, they've had separate brands and separate writing teams for over 20 plus years now. And so this is not a normal thing that they do. But you had an interesting theory on this with them talking about the consolidation and trying to act like it's normal and what it really means.
It's not really a theory. It's a fucking fact because I've been through consolidations. When I worked at a manufacturing plant here locally, they were always, when they do layoffs, they say, we're just consolidating, we're trimming up the fat, basically, try to make things run more efficiently, blah, blah, blah. And eventually it was bankruptcy and they left and sold to someone else. Same thing has happened in WWE. Consolidation, is the sugarcoating for, we're fucked and we need to cut more.
Yeah, it is, man. Ugh.
That's basically what they're trying to say, but they just always put all these like sugar coating on things. And I remember working at my job when they'd be like, the work's coming, and month after month, no work's coming. And I'm like, you're telling me the sky's sunny and clear, but all I see is fucking dark clouds, and it ain't fucking changing anytime soon. I was so miserable. And like people would buy into their bullshit. I'm like, I'm seeing right through this. And like, then you have the fucking lifers that are like, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. Yeah, how's it going now?
Is the plant out of business now?
Yeah, they sold to another company, but they closed up, filed bankruptcy, created a new name, and then started that, and then sold to a new company.
The writing's on the wall, man. Just like you said, anybody that has a half of a brain can see what's going on over there. They're fucked. Their partners are sitting over there at the different networks and are salty over their relationships with them and that they're not delivering on them. Bruce Pritchard is not your remedy for creative. This is the same guy that created Duke the Dumpster fucking Drosy and the Goon and TL Hopper, man, and all those stupid ass gimmicks. This is the guy, the reason he's put in charge. Make no mistake about it, wrestling fans that like wrestling and are listening to this for the wrestling part. Make no mistake about it. Bruce was put in this role because he's Vince McMahon's lapdog lackey, man, that does exactly what he wants him to do. He's worked for him forever. He lives, eats, breathes, and sleeps this shit. And he is the guy that is the worst person possible to put in charge of a creative direction of any company. Vince McMahon at this point of his life and career is the worst fucking person to put in charge of anybody's creative nature, anything creative that's going on. It's an absolute sham, man, what's going on there. And it's an absolute shame. It's an absolute travesty what they're doing. This company is in the shitter. And if you don't realize it's in the shitter and that it's going down, we've been saying it here for a long ass time. And let me tell you, it doesn't take a psychic person to predict what's going to be coming here very, very shortly for the WWE if they don't get their heads out of their asses. And apparently,
the writing's on the fucking wall.
Oh, absolutely, man.
It's all there. Like, if you're saying, "Oh no, they're going to be okay," you're just a fucking diehard WWE mark that just, no matter what happens, we're going to be good. We're going to be fine. It's the WWE. WWE, they're like worldwide. They got so many funding and all that, and that funding's drying up.
And it's drying up really damn fast, folks. And let me tell you, they're not reaching the goals that has been set for them by Fox too. Fox
is gonna fucking pull the plug on them.
It's coming, man. And let me tell you something right now. Mark my words, man. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, but there's a very good likelihood of it. If they don't sell out to a major company like a Disney over the next year, USA might actually pull NXT over there, to be honest with you, because it's quite embarrassing, I'm sure, for them. And apparently this is one of the things that's embarrassing Vince a lot, is that they're losing every week to this young upstart company. Now, mind you, neither of these two are drawing flies to shit right now in regards to big numbers. They're not. But they're still getting beat, with the exception of this week. AEW only beat them by 4,000 this week. But with the exception of this week, they beat them very handily almost every week. I think WWE's only won one time, or three times in this whole thing that's been going on. And they could throw the kitchen sink at everything. They're coming right off of a takeover, and they couldn't even capitalize that into getting anything for them to win. Yeah, it's 4,000 apart, but both their numbers are down tremendously. I could see USA pulling NXT off of it in the next 6 months to a year, and I really could see it, man. I just don't think that they're going to keep going with this if they keep getting embarrassed. And Monday Night Raw could be in some danger too if they don't start picking that up as well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Killer Cross and Scarlett, they're helping NXT tremendously, but it's not enough.
No.
I mean, they're killing it right now in NXT. Like, everything they're doing is so perfect for wrestling. Like, the story and just the psychology, it's what's been needed, but a little too late.
What could be done, though? Like, that's the thing I wonder. What could be done to beat AEW? It seems like they've tried everything, and they just can't do it. Like, what can be done to beat them? I don't know.
I don't know, because people are so turned away from WWE that it's kind of like never gonna go back. Like, people don't want it. Like, and the more stories you hear from WWE that are not so great, people don't want to tune in and support it.
Yeah, and I'm telling you,
I mean,
AEW's, they'll take a few losses here and there, but AEW is going to be a front runner over there for the near future, folks. They're not going anywhere. And mark my words for the wrestling fans is that it's going to get worse before it gets better for the WWE, and it's going to get worse before it gets better for NXT, no matter what they bring out, because for whatever reason, they don't have it there to be able to do it. And I just don't know what their remedy is now for it. But in the same aspect is AEW better never get complacent, because if they get complacent, it could go away for them too. You never do know. So they need to keep putting out good TV. And it's a shame to see that people aren't watching both shows, because they do give some pretty decent stuff out on both shows, which is interesting. Raw and SmackDown is straight fucking garbage to me. It's just,
I mean, when you were talking about Eric Bischoff last year, it came in with Paul Heyman, and like after he left, he even said, like, even if you're like supposed like charged creative on Raw or SmackDown, there's only one man that's full creative decision. That's Vince McMahon. So
yep.
Paul's a creative genius, but he's had his hands tied where he can't be fully creative. I mean, he lost the Fiend to not use on Raw because Fox wanted the big draw with the Fiend.
If you want to see how they're going to try to reverse his stuff, look no further than Apollo Crews, Andrade, Austin Theory, Aleister Black, and Angel Garza, who apparently have been big pet projects for Paul Heyman over on Raw. Watch what's going on with them over the next few weeks and see if they try to reverse what he's done. If that, you'll watch those characters, for anybody that's out there watching the product on a Monday, go check that out and we'll come back to that in a few weeks and see, because I think it's going to be really telling, because those were kind of like the modern day Paul Heyman guys. And apparently a lot of the younger stars loved his writing and what he did. And then there was some people that said it was just too off the wall and everything, but I don't know, it's he said, she said on that stuff. But I did go back and listen to the show last year when I did it. I wanted to see how long I predicted they would last for both Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman. I said Bischoff would last 6 months or less, and I said that Paul Heyman would last right around a year or less, that he would last longer than Bischoff did. And I'm happy to say I was pretty spot on with it. So it was a pretty easy pick there. If there could have been some gambling on it, I would have loved to. Maybe I make some good cash right now at it, but I don't know, Mr. Miller. WWE is going to have a long way ahead of them if they want to reverse this. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. We're coming up to the end of our time. Do you got any final thoughts for the night, my friend?
No, not really. Just people never seem to surprise us. You've got good people out there, and you've got people that you really don't understand their logic or not use of logic, and just don't be shocked. I mean, you can still be shocked. I mean, I'm always shocked, but it's not surprising with people.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting in the next few weeks to see where things go, man. I really hope that things start settling out here, especially with the summertime. So I don't know. We're going to be here every week talking about it until we find out, until it's not here anymore. So when that happens, I guarantee there's going to be another new one that's popping right out for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how it goes. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll be back again. I got a new episode coming out for you on Saturday with myself and Jeff Maxon. We're doing the first Monday Nitro watch along for our weekly watch along series that we did last week. We're doing the Monday Nitro, the Monday Night Raw one. So we're going to go back to the first one of Nitro. And in addition, go back and look in the archives. There's been a ton of shows out this week, a ton of different stuff that we're doing. We're doing a little bit of everything here on Wrestling with Reality. So if you're listening to this on YouTube or watching it on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification. That's how you get notified every time we go live, because we will be streaming more. And then as well, go check out the podcast, give a rating and review if you can. And if you do, we will read it out right on the show. So please go ahead and do that. It helps the show out. And listen to the ending here, and you'll get a chance to hear the email and all the different places to go, and for our website at rcpodnetwork.com. So until then, be good, folks. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another fun wrestling talk and wrestling watch along. Myself and Mr. Miller will be back right again early next week, mid next week, as we always are, with the reality check. So for everybody here on Wrestling with Reality, and for all the great people on the Reality Check Podcast Network, be good, be safe. We'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you all later.
Thank you for listening to Wrestling with Reality. Please check out our website, www.rcpodnetwork.com. Follow us on Twitter at WWRPodcast, or email John at wwrpodcast.com@gmail.com. And please make sure to subscribe to Wrestling with Reality on your favorite podcast outlet.